In NAIDOC Week, World Series Rugby celebrates the achievements of Indigenous Australia in fine style, albeit a little bit damp. The dancers are out. We've had the welcome to country from Barry Maguire, Noongar representative, and a young man with a special message to us all: unite and live as one. And of course, the soon-to-be world-famous pyrotechnic display that you see when World Series Rugby rolls into town. Good evening, hello and welcome. Scotty Faber. It's fantastic to be here once again. It's a little bit wet, but we'll be okay. We are broadcasting tonight right around the world on Twitter. How good is this?
What an amazing opportunity to be part of World Series Rugby. This is the evolution of rugby, and looking at the Samoan culture, the Indigenous culture. These guys are out here in the rain and we're bringing it to the world. It's amazing.
It certainly is. The dancers have been fantastic. It is such a great week in Australia and it has been celebrated really well here, no doubt about that. Now, the Western Force, we'll see them shortly, but let's head to the tunnel right now with Danny Orlando with Apia Samoa.
Check out this weather as well. The full World Series Rugby experience. Apia Samoa, a lot of the team that have travelled here tonight really are playing for their rugby careers. And we caught up with coach Brian Lima a little earlier to talk about how they're going to tackle tonight's match.
Whatever opportunity we get, we're going to use that opportunity to run the ball and use their flair. I think that's what we're here for. How they play rugby in the island is to entertain and run the ball from everywhere.
He's a gentle giant now, Brian Lima, but it wasn't always the case. Stand by for more on that. Now, we've introduced a couple of different things to World Series Rugby. Here comes Apia Samoa right now. They'll be ready to go in a moment. We've introduced Adrian Barrich, a man who played AFL for the West Coast Eagles. He played rugby league for the Reds, and he played a bit of rugby union as well. He's joined our coverage. Barra, welcome, albeit on a wide-angle lens.
Thank you, Mark. Obviously no mirrors at your house, I presume, but yes, we have got this wide-angle lens tonight, an enhancement to our wonderful coverage here at World Series Rugby. So watch out for that during the game. We're always at the cutting edge here. Obviously, as you can see, Mark, the conditions are very, very heavy. Ball security is going to be ultra important tonight, and I'm told by the Force boys they're going to try to move the Samoans around the park and try to wear them out. And just some late news, I believe Masi Dakawonga is out of the game. He got injured in the warm-up, Mark. He's injured in the warm-up. Jack McGregor will start. The young rookie is coming back in. So we're all set. Here's the Force come out. We're all set for a magnificent night here at NIB Stadium.
Well done, Barrett. You better get off the ground, mate. They're going to run you over. And you're right, a massive change. We'll talk more about that in a moment. That happened with just seconds to go. Here come the Western Force, the wonderful team. They won their first couple of games by 40 points. They've lost the next couple by 52. So collectively, they are a couple of tries down in this World Series, and they'll be up to make a difference on that one tonight. They meet in the middle now, the two teams. The Western Force now in formation for the Indigenous Warrior Dance. Always means a lot to these guys, but certainly will tonight, that's for sure, as we celebrate the achievements of Indigenous Australia in this Indigenous round. And across from the Indigenous Warriors, Apia Samoa, they have combined now and come together as one. So we're just about ready to go now. World Series Rugby Game 5. One of the great innovations we are bringing to this sport of rugby, and in fact sport in general. We're going live with the Western Force captain Ian Pryor right throughout the match. Let's listen into him right now.
Come in, huddle up, quick. March, quick.
So the captain calling the entire team in.
Here we go. Okay, we're receiving. We know our roles here, okay? Make sure we play in the right field position. Bring the energy, okay? Here we go. Start now. Here we go. Let's go.
Fantastic. We'll be with Ian Pryor right throughout the match. There's been a few blokes that have been soft with umbrellas out tonight. Hopefully, Mick Collis, you aren't one of those. Over to you, mate, to call the action. This is going to be great.
Absolutely, Will. What a great spectacle it's been. I love the concentration of the cultures. And we are all set to go here for Game 5 of World Series Rugby. It will be John Bailey with the start. And the ball goes deep, taken by Marcel Bracchi. Positional change for him. Moved out onto the wing as a result of that last-minute injury to Dakawonga. And the Western Force inside their 22-metre line. They'll be looking for the power try, the 7 points from when a try is scored with inside your 22. Pryor, though, going the safe option, putting the ball into touch.
G'day, Mick. How are you, mate?
Mate, good. A bit of a few changes, late changes with the Western Force there. It'll be a little bit unsettling for them.
Yeah, it's a bit of a shame. We're really looking forward to Massey Dakawonga getting out there and showing what he's capable of. But hurt himself, hamstring in the warm-up. So, yes, a bit of a positional change there.
So the ball stolen from that line out, Chaminade for the Western Force. Now with Alcock taking play up towards the 50-metre line. Now inside Apia Samoan territory. Chaminade again using quick hands. And the ball put on the toe by the Western Force.
Inside.
Picked up by Vaili, young fullback for Apia Samoa. Now the Force with a counter-attacking opportunity is with Lacey. He's got some speed, looking for a gap, can't find one. Thrown to the ground, just inside the 10-metre line. Apia Samoa territory. Here they come again. Western Force on the attack through Stander. Pryor with it now. We'll hear him speak as the game progresses. Kaitui for the Force. Good continuity for the Western Force. Good enthusiasm early on here. Wet conditions, but they're happy to throw the ball around. And he's Henry Tofu now in 13. So not as per program. Stowers for the Western Force. Approaching the 22-metre line. Western Force still right on the attack here in Game 5 World Series Rugby. Lovely short ball to Bardul, the big man running towards the line.
Well,
so Scotty, you would know was whether, would you?
Good series of play. A couple of offloads there from the boys. The forwards using the ball.
Yeah, we see Bardul there.
Nice little half break. Big Yogi Bear back in the team this week. It's good to see. But he's been living in WA a bit too much, mate. How about that little kick down here? What's Locks doing kicking the ball?
Oh, I've got no idea. All the skills they've got, this Western Force team.
2. Stability and gap, please.
Rain looking low. May have eased just a little bit. Has been heavy in phases. But the first scrum of the night, a great opportunity for the back line. It pulls 8 people out of the defensive line. And it will be the Apia Samoa with the first feed of the night. Uwili, the man with the ball for Apia Samoa. A good drive coming from the Western Force. It's been picked up though off the back.
Stay.
Western Force not committing too many players. The charge down coming from Walcott. Picked up with Bailey now. A great effort there by the number 7 for the Western Force. Ball cleared by Apia Samoa. Now it is with Brad Lacey right on halfway. Looking for some space. Tries to find support. Picks up Thrush. Driven back by Sayamalo. Now Pryor goes to the short side. Chris Alcock again. A busy start for the number 7. Pryor, the short run. Bardul again getting involved early in this match. Ball comes loose. Referee says play on with Pryor. Grant in from fullback. Wonderful hit there from Matamu, the big second rower for Apia Samoa. Stander.
Backwards.
Still with Alcock, so Western Force still looking to try and string some phases together here. Chaminade. Good drive by the Western Force. Ball comes loose. Still though with the Western Force.
Play the knock on by Blue. Scrum white ball.
It's a bit of ball movement there again from the Force. After this charge down from Alcock.
Say again.
got himself in a great position, right in the ribs. Beautiful, that wouldn't have tickled.
Yeah, he's been fantastic for the Western Force. This is his second stint with the team.
He has, and he's got a really big battle out here with the number 7 from Samoa, Lilo Lolo. He's been in the Sevens program, and he's very quick. They use him as a bit of a winger in the Sevens program, so you can see that there's going to be a bit of a battle there for Chris Alcock on the ground.
Set.
Scrum fit again. Bully for Apia Samoa. Another good scrum drive by the Western Force, but it is with Apia Samoa. And Vaili again, the fullback, with a long spiralling torpedo down to Peter Grant.
Taken back.
Knocks it back. Play on. Now Bracky with the
Taken
ball.
back, boys.
Inside his 22-metre line. Sends it deep. And the skipper, Afa Aono for Apia Samoa. Can't beat the tackle of Bracky. Bardul all over the top of that. Still, though, with Apia Samoa. Just shy. Now they're going back to their 22. And Sayumalo with the high ball. Pryor takes it cleanly outside his own 22. Returns the favour. Sends the ball deep inside Apia Samoa territory. I think that'll be the way they'll try and play tonight, Scotty. Just try and keep down that end because of these wet conditions.
14 white, offside.
That's where you want to play.
Peter Grant with some space. Tackled well there by Tapili.
No advantage, 14 white, offside.
I'm Nicky.
And the referee there calling. So the first penalty of the night
14 white, offside.
awarded to the Western Force. Just inside the 10-metre line, about 8 metres inside Apia Samoa territory, and Peter Grant will be looking to get played back down inside that 22-metre line.
Well, this is a chance for the Force to be patient.
It was a mongrel kick, but it did the job.
And there's the team, there's the opposition for the Force. There are some young names, but some quality names too, Scotty.
Yeah, I mentioned Lilo Lolo. He's a player to watch out for tonight. And there's number 12, Gordon Nimieso. Get me on that one. He was invited down to the St George Dragons, and so he's had a bit of experience there in a professional program.
So a great attacking opportunity here for the Western Force. They're only 7 metres away. The referee playing advantage. And he'll come back for the penalty.
Early drive.
I thought he could have let that go a little bit longer.
No. Lifter, early drive.
We can hear
was
Graham Cooper
dangerous.
there.
Scrum.
You can hear him giving the players the instructions, the 29-year-old who only
Who's
took
number
up the
4?
whistle a few years ago.
Okay.
And has done some nice things and is pushing very much for Super Rugby selection as a referee. There he is. He was involved in the International Women's World Cup. Refed a semi-final against Ireland. So he, like a lot of the players, on the rise. And I don't think he's going to take any nonsense from these guys here. Stamp his authority early, as all refs should, Scotty.
Well, this is a good test for him because this is the Force's first offensive scrum. And 5 metres out, we could be looking for a pushover here.
Yeah, great attacking opportunity here for the Western Force. They could go the pushover. As we mentioned earlier, it does take all the defence out of that back line, but they are going for the pushover. It's been picked up by Stander. He's only a metre away. In fact, he's over.
Oh, the bull.
So the first try of the night coming in the just under the 8th minute to the Western Force. And they lead 5-0 against Apia Samoa.
There was no one else going to score that try. Big bull, Bernard Stander. He knew straight away. He picked it up from the back of the scrum and he looked at that number 9 and said, mate, I'm taking you out.
I thought there might have been a cheeky little knock on actually by Stander. I didn't think he looked like he picked it up too clean.
Now, we heard Adrian Barrage, we talked him up, he's played for all sorts of codes, he knows what he's doing. He's a bit slow to get out into the middle, but he's there now. Go, Barra.
Hey, Bull, how good was that, mate? Pushover try, you come off the back, magnificent. Tell us about it.
That's not my try, that's the whole forward pack's try. Credit to them.
What's the plan here now? There's been a bit of kicking, it's obviously very wet. What's your plan going forward?
Mate, we just got to take control of the game, keep it settled, and we just take it step by step.
You're off to a brilliant start, but Bull, well done, mate. You're a strong man. Back to you, Mark.
Thanks, Barra. Brandon Stander there to get things underway. And now Peter Grant with the conversion. Quality performer, but he missed a couple against the Crusaders last week. It's a confidence game, this.
Yeah, very much so. And the nickname Sensei, he's very calm, collected, but those opportunities to kick the goals and get the 2 points for the team, Peter would be on top of that. He would have practiced all week.
So 7-0, Western Force getting out to an early lead against Apia Samoa.
Heath Testman and Leon Power there on the bench. Heath Testman's been one of the stars of World Series Rugby for the Western Force, the vice-captain, been one of the stars for the Western Force for a long time. Pulled up a little bit sore after that last game against the Crusaders. He'll be out there eventually, although it surprised me, Scotland, if he said to the coach, mate, it's a bit wet for me, do you reckon?
No, he's never say that. But it's been good. In the couple of weeks that we've had break, the guys have gone and played club rugby, which has been awesome. So they've been out there in the community and doing their thing, and it's been great for the clubs.
So a terrific run there from Whangu Maloi, the number 8 for Apia Samoa, but unfortunately just into contact, that ball coming loose. But certainly showing his intent. Big, strong man, loves to run with the ball. And I think that's the way they'll have to play tonight too, if it does keep running, just those forwards just driving up, keeping the ball in hand.
Just need those massive runs, don't we? Get the ball underneath the armpit and just go for it. And you know, the conditions are going to be what they are, and you're going to have some spilled ball. So
and important tonight's got to get momentum, get those forward runners, so you are going forward the whole time.
Indeed, and there's going to be a lot of missed tackles too because of the conditions. So you know, if you can run well, move your footwork a little bit, hopefully get that half break.
So another important scrum here for the Western Force, right on their 10-metre line inside their own territory prior to Deegan. Alatimu, Peter Grant back in from fullback. So inside Apia Samoa territory. Stowers. Pryor again, they go the short side. Deegan. Brad Lacey loves a run, he's got a great turn of speed. Pryor again.
Advantage.
Great little short ball, but unfortunately the ball comes loose, picked up by Apia Samoa. And Vaeli losing the ball, so that we did speak about it being a little bit slippery tonight.
Ooh, yeah, just on.
Great short ball to the try scorer, Brian Stander.
We'll hear from the coach shortly. Pre-match, we were able to hear Tim Sampson and all his work, and he wasn't scared of the wet weather, was he? His message was to take these guys on, and yes, it's going to be wet and it's going to be slippery, but take them on. Again, it's part of the great access. We'll be hearing from Ian Pryor, the captain, and also in just a moment we'll be able to hear from the coach pre-match.
And one of those messages was patience too, and I just alluded to it beforehand. In these conditions, you need to have the patience, make sure that you work through the phases, not try and push the ball too much.
So Uli with the scrum feed. Ball coming loose off the back by Malloy, couldn't pick it up clean. Deegan chipping through, will it bounce be right for him? Still going. He's been watching plenty of the World Cup. And it's Tafua with the ball for Apia Samoa. Some nice work there by Deegan, the number 10 for the Western Force. But it is with Apia Samoa only about 10 metres. In fact, it is behind the try line.
On four, stay.
Ball's kept in with Lacey. Sums up his options. Chances his arm thrown to ground there by Samoalu. Good drive there by the Apia Samoa, but...
Off your feet.
Yeah, that was tough. I thought he was all right there.
I thought he was on his feet.
Yeah, good position. He was on top of the ball. I thought it might have been the other way. But now a good attacking raid for the Force.
Yeah, they've certainly dominated the territory in the early stages of this game.
And now I think we can go and hear from Tim Sampson pre-match.
All right, a little bit of ball movement here in this weather's still fine, as long as it's controlled stuff. Okay, find your own space, light it up within those first few phases. Try and get a penalty, metres or points.
Here for the Force, it's been well won by Thrush. They're 5 metres away from the try line. Western Force looking for their second try. With Kaitui, the hooker, the man with the ball. They'll pile in behind him, they'll try to drive this over. Marching their way towards the try line, looking for try number 2. Lacey in to try and help. The event's been called, they're over the line. Have they got it down? Yes, they have. Second try to the Western Force. And once again, great control by the forward pack. A few of the backs getting in there, trying to lend a hand, token as it may have been. And I'm not sure, Scotty, who actually put the ball down.
I know, I'm looking at Henry Stowers there. I know Maletti was at the back, but it might have been Stowers.
Just be careful. I don't
but I
want to
like it,
keep
yeah, the
penalising.
token backs. They come in and give their ounce of muscle.
Well, they get home.
Well, Barra might be able to tell us. Adrian Barrich is out there. I don't know who he's going to pick. It was a team try if ever we've seen one here as we look at it on the replay. That's just team football. That's the way we heard from the coach how they were going to go about it. Barra?
Yes, I'm just trying to find the try scorer. Henry, no, over here. Here he is, Here, I found you, mate. How are you? Hey, look, that was magnificent. The push over again. Can you believe you're pushing Apia around like this?
Oh, I just think we just stick to our systems, and I would just push, and I was lucky I was at the back to score a try.
You were better than lucky, mate. You did very well there. Hey, good luck in the second half, and the rest of the game as well. 2 tries to the force. Well done, boys.
So Henry Stowers there, of course, against his old nation, well, his birth nation. The Samoans, some of them his friends, that are up against him here as the Force take on Apia Samoa and get away to a very good start. We saw the last conversion from Peter Grant was excellent. And that one a little bit too right to left, so it didn't get it. But look at the power here of the sea of humanity that is this game.
Yes, good driving line out into a try. And Stowers at the back there. Henry's he's up for selection for the World Cup next year. He's been involved in that World Pacific Challenge with a lot of these boys. So this kind of game is a bit of a selection trial for him. He puts himself in front of those selectors, as well as AJ Alatimu.
Well, of course, you might have something you can tell us about Henry Stowers. If you're listening in Apia or in Samoa somewhere, you can do it via Twitter, of course. Just use that hashtag there, FORVAPI, and of course you can win 10 grand. That's how it works here. The cash kick is part of World Series Rugby. If you're new to World Series Rugby, as many of our listeners are listening in different places around the globe at the moment, at half-time there will be a lucky punter, as we would call it here in Australia, a fan who will have the opportunity to kick a conversion, a place kick, and win $10,000, and you could too. So send through your tweets and we'll pick someone out and give them the opportunity to win 10 grand as well.
So some great play by Apia Samoa. Their first real chance to keep the ball in play. There was some nice work there by Safua and also by Tapili, but unfortunately...
From the strip by 7. Knock on.
The knock on there awarded. But they look good with ball in hand, Scotty. They haven't actually had much opportunity yet.
No, and if you saw the address from Tim Sampson just then, the Force guys want to get into the P zone, which is obviously P zone's many things, points, penalties, in the zone where they want to get the try, and they've done that for most of this game. So it'd be good to see the Apia team get the ball in hand and do something with it. This is their first real good attacking raid.
So they're on the 10-metre line, still in their own. In fact, they're inside Western Force territory, one of their rare forays up that end of the field. They'll be looking for a solid scrum. The Western Force's scrum has been very good. This time it's picked up by Malloy. Now with Lemesio, but once again that ball coming loose. So turned over with the Western Force. A chance for a counter-attack here. It is with Deegan. And unfortunately, AJ Latimu just not able to hang onto that ball. Had some space and some numbers on that side of the ground.
Where did he lose that ball? Would that have been a power try? Been close.
Time off.
Of course, the power try in World Series Rugby worth 7-9 if converted, but you must start the forward thrust inside your own 22. That's what it's about, to try to keep the game in play. That's World Series Rugby does a lot with that, and instances like this where there's an injury, rolling subs is something that's been considered, which would mean this injury would happen off the field. Who knows? We talk about power try. Hey, have a look at this. Last week against the Crusaders, this was it.
Is on down the far side. Bedwell Curtis gets it away.
Here we go.
The winger Mataele. Oh, inside ball to number 9, Mitchell Drummond, and the captain will go over for the first score of the night. The Crusaders get it done from their own 22.
Look at the score.
Power try.
Bang! Just like that on 7. That's history, Tone. You were there. You were part of it. Man walking on the moon and first power try in World Series Rugby.
Wasn't that a special moment?
It was for Mitchell Drummond, who is the World Series Rugby equivalent of the man who walked on the moon.
It is.
So really, with the scrum feed for Apia Samoa, this time it comes clean through Malloy. Oh, the cutout pass. It is on. Chipped through by Safua. Picked up by AJ Latimo for the Western Force. So Apia Samoa quite happy to try and attack, try all the tricks. A stander, massive run from the man they call the Bull. Pryor, Deegan, Peter Grant. Now Bracky chips inside. This could be a power try opportunity. It's been picked up by Vaili though for Apia Samoa. He decides to run himself. Allcrop swinging to the ground. Just after the 10-metre line, that is Apia Samoa territory. They come the short side. Malloy, the goose step. The Willie looking for it. Goes back to Sayamalo. Taken by his opposite number. Deegan for the Force. He's got Lacey outside him. It's a loose pass, but well held by the number 11. Swung to the ground.
Oh, good turnover there.
Holding on.
Yeah, great work by Apia Samoa. Lacey just hanging on to that ball a little bit too long. His support a bit slow to get there, and a great defensive effort there by Apia Samoa.
Now the support is there. That's really nice. How good is watching World Series Rugby on Twitter? Well, there have been some amazing performances or sports right across the globe that are broadcast on Twitter. It all began big time with American football, Thursday night American football, going to Twitter exclusively. It's part of the revolution that is World Series Rugby. So there's one opportunity there to get involved. You can too. Just make sure you use the hashtag FORVAPI and you're a chance to make it onto the TV. There it is. That's the hashtag for you to get onto the tally and be shown all around the world and win $10,000. Amazing.
So Ayono with the line out throw. It's been spoiled by the Western Forces. Bardul.
Oh, look at Yogi Bear. Yogi Bear.
Making some great cuts. Has been stolen by Ayano, the captain of Apia Samoa.
Boys, easy.
Matamu. Oh, solid hit in the middle of the field there by Feleti Katui.
2-4,
Uli, sloppy pass and left behind, so the penalty will come. A little bit of niggle.
A little bit of scuffle there, yeah.
Plenty of feeling in this match.
Well, it was a good hit by Feleti.
It's a great hit in the middle of the field. The two number twos.
Yes, they're going at each other. I like matchups like this. This is awesome.
That's what the penalty is for.
The skipper.
Look at them pointing each other out.
Okay.
Yeah, Lamasio.
I've got him for
I'll get you later.
Okay.
They play a very physical style of game, and they absolutely love the physicality. They're very good at
Penalty
it.
kick, high tackle.
And a big clash in centre field. There's Vaili with the penalty, looking for the touchline. Because it was their penalty, it will be their line-out throw. So a great opportunity here for Apia Samoa.
It'd be good to see. It'd be good to see Samoa keep it in tight. A bit of their raid just then was a couple of pick and drives, and they started making the meters instead of a couple of cutouts where they've lost the ball. This might be better suited to the game. Start getting some momentum. So hopefully, with this drive, we'll see a bit of that.
So Afa Ayono.
8 blue, step.
So Brian Standard just being told to get on his own side. A good line-out win there by, and the ball put down, unfortunately. I thought he may have been offside, but the referee says to play on. And a good drive there by the Western Force. Maybe a turnover. And in fact, it is, and a penalty along with it. So once the ball's on the ground, you can't use your hands. So if that was hands in the ruck, if it stays up, you can use them, but when it's on the ground, you can't play the ball with your hands.
Oh, look at this, superior skills from Jeremy Thrush. Good tackle, straight up, great body position, driving through. It was all him on that turnover.
And Peter Grant finding the touchline again. So Western Force about 20 metres away now from the Apia Samoa, the try line.
Discipline down here, please.
They'll be looking for their third try
Keep going, White.
of the game. 12-0, leading Apia Samoa.
Crowd's getting into it. You can hear a bit of the music, which is great.
Here's another one. Keep them coming. Awesome, guys. Thank you. They must be talking to you, Scotland. Keep the tweets coming. Use the hashtag. Chance to win 10 grand.
So great line-out win there by Chrissy Alcott. Barville with it. And they rumble towards the line again. The Western Force driving Apia Samoa back as they inch their way towards the try line. Can they score number 3? It's with Harrison Lloyd. the big front rower. He'll be hanging on to that. Now it's with Pryor. He's taken it away. He goes himself 2 metres away from the line. Western Force, no halfback. Picked up by Stowers. Is he over?
He's in for a double.
So great play by the Western Force. Great control. Their forward pack dominating Apia Samoa, and Henry Stowers the man to capitalise on that dominance.
I thought Ian Pryor took that from the rolling ball a bit too early, but he obviously saw the space and he's gone for it. He could have offloaded there, but he showed some patience, and Stowers in behind knew exactly where he was going to go.
Yeah, the great pick and drive by the number 6. Very hard to stop from that close to the line. 17 points to 0 now, the Western Forces. The rain comes down here at NIB Stadium.
Yeah, let's talk about the crowd lifting just before that line out. You can see they're all loving it and they're all part of it, and it's great to see the sea blue here.
Hey, Barrett, talk us through this.
Yeah, I've got Henry here. That's the second try, Henry. How do you feel, mate? The team's going pretty well.
Yeah, I was just lucky again to score off the back of the momentum from the forwards in the maul, and front row and the top 5 are doing really good job up front.
We've just seen the conversion as well. The team's going very well. How do you like playing against the Samoans?
Still my country, so I love the battle, but we've got to get the W.
No doubt, buddy. I'll let you go. We're about to kick off. Thank you, Henry. You're going well, mate. All the best.
He loves the microphone. Adrian Barrage can't get him off, but Henry loves it too, because it means he's going to keep scoring. We might have to talk to someone else. Against his country, he loves being here with the Force. Of course, playing against your country is always difficult, but to see the fun that Henry Stowers has as he's around the place with the Western Force boys, it's not surprising to see him playing so well tonight.
And a tricky bounce there from that restart, and unfortunately Jeremy Thrush not able to hold it. But Scotty, one thing that impresses me about this team, the Western Force, is they're very. It's a team effort. No one claims it. Whereas I'm sure when you were scoring tries, you claimed them. But these guys, they pass all the credit on to everyone else.
Yeah, very much so. There's a lot of love within the group, particularly the forwards just then. Momentum from everybody else in the group contributed to the try. But just in general, I think from what's happened with the Force, as we know over the last year or so, these guys have really banded together, and they know that they're on the precipice of something special. So that is just, you can see that in performance. You know, even though they've had 2 losses in a row, you can see that them as a group, they're starting to battle harder. And they're ready for the next adventure. So, you know, hopefully that comes about next year, and these guys are going for it.
Yeah, they do. They certainly have a fantastic bond with this Western Force squad.
That's one way to be picked, but it's fair to say, Liz Wickham, we're not going to pick you, but thank you. Hashtag FORVAPI. If you've got a comment to make, you might have a question for Scotty Favour, one of the most popular blokes in world rugby, as I mentioned. At some stage, we might get another look at this pink jacket that you're wearing. Yeah, it's a pity the rain didn't get to it, Mick. Salmon.
So Malloy, the big number 8 for Apia Samoa.
Oh, great.
Pins the years back. Tackled by Deegan. That's the 22-metre line. So Apia Samoa, a great attacking opportunity for them now as Apia Samoa takes the ball up. Tapu, the big prop forward, rumbling toward. Oh, unfortunately, the ball's come loose. Thrush. I think that may be a double knock on there. But just unfortunate there for Apia Samoa as they were heading towards, and here we see on the replay, Malloy, massive bump.
Marcel.
Poor Marcel Bracky, number 8 on number 14. There's about 1,000 kilograms difference between those 2 players. But I do like this Malloy, this number 8. When he gets the ball, he loves a run.
Now, speaking of big bumps, Brian Lima, of course, we heard from him pre-match. He's the coach. He was involved in one of the greatest hits of all time.
Up over halfway he goes. Oh! What about the tackle from Brian Lima? Televilli breaking out. Oh, Brian Lima. That is what you call a blindside shot. Oh. Oh, that's a car accident. God, he's woken up after a long sleep with a smile. Oh, just copped it big time here.
Now, we can laugh because that South African, that's edited vision. He seriously took 59 seconds to get back off the ground because every bit of wind in him was taken out by Brian Lima as the team that he coaches out here, Apia Samoa, continues to try to lay some hits on. Now, so big was that hit, guys, that we've invented the Lima scale. Forget the Richter scale. Charles Richter, no more. Brian Lima, he's the big man. More on that coming up.
As we see the Apia Samoa through Tapili as they made their way down that touchline from that line out. It was won by Matamu off the front, handed to Tapili, and they were in clear space, but just once again the handling skills in this wet just bringing Apia Samoa unstuck.
Now, here it is again, by the way. Here's the hit. Now, we've introduced, look at it, the Lima scale. Now, that's a 10 out of 10. That hit was like an earthquake. That was a 10 out of 10. So, as we look at this match as the rest of it, and in fact the rest of World Series Rugby, Scotty, it's your job to comment on what the Lima scale comes up with. That's how we're going to measure the intensity of the work that happens out there. Some of your work would have been 3 or 4 on the Lima scale. You actually put your head over the ball sometimes.
My knockout at the Commonwealth Sevens.
Okay, a 6.
6, yeah. Would have gone up there.
So another great drive by the Western forward pack, forcing the penalty against the feed. So satisfying night so far for the Western Force. You can see Brad Lacey, the winger in there, just going in and giving his forward pack a bit of a cuddle, letting him know that the backs do appreciate the hard work the forwards are doing.
Geez, I wish we had this Lima scale for Malloy when he came around the bend and hit Marcel. That would have been superb. I would have given that a 7.
As Peter Grant puts the ball out. We did speak to Brian Lima about that tackle during the week.
Talking about that tackle, well, you know, tackle is all about attitude. You know, I'm at the right place at the right time and give him a good hit. So, I think it's happened. It's happened. And
It's happened. A little bit sheepish. He did say, I don't like to talk about it because I feel sorry for it. But I can't forget the South African, can't remember the South African's name now.
Derek Pockard.
Derek Pockard. Thank you very much, Mick. He did get up. He did play on. He still lives today. And now he's in rugby folklore because he too plays a part in the Lima scale. We thank Brian Lima. Not sure that we actually signed off on the Lima scale with Brian himself, but that's what we're running with anyway. So a really nice guy. But what about the line? Tackling is about attitude, Scotty.
Oh, look, it is massive. Attitude in defence. Every coach talks about it. Every player wants to be there and do it for your teammates. And we always say, it doesn't matter how much technique you do, if you've got attitude and aggression, you're going to get that tackle made. And tonight, we want to see the big ones now with the Lima scale in place.
That's right.
I want to see the fire.
And what a humble man. Like it just, you know, for him that was nothing, and he had a history of almost snapping people in half.
Guys, no space. No space.
Yeah, the chiropractor.
But him was just part of the game, and again, it's not about the individual, it's all about the team, and we're seeing that here with both sides tonight.
Ian Pryor, the captain, we've got him mic'd up.
Crouch.
He's really grown into the leadership role, Ian Pryor, following the footsteps of the great Matt Hodgson. And a good platform for Ian Pryor. Being told to use it.
Okay, let's check out how the Lima scale works from this game. So here comes the hit. Have a look at it.
Oh, 6.5. I was close. Gave it the 7. I think Marcel would give it a 10, but we give it less.
So. Marcel's still feeling it, like Derek Pockard, I think. So there you go. We've set that up. That's another part of the revolution that is World Series Rugby, as is your jacket, Scotty. You've still got it. I wish you'd just take it off just for a moment. And, of course, as mentioned, we're live in with Ian Pryor throughout the game. We'll start to hear a little bit more of the Western Force captain suit.
So 6.5 is the number to beat in the Lima scale as Pryor now to Deegan. Sends it to the sky. Turns Safua around, leaves it behind. It's like pinballs. Brad Lacey puts it on the toe. It's a foot race between Safua and Lacey. And it will be, in fact, that was Scanlon kicking the ball into touch.
A few soccer skills wouldn't go straight tonight, would it?
No, you're right.
No use jumping on a loose ball like that. Just put him through.
Geez, he's got some toe, this Scanlon. It'd be nice to see him in some space.
Indeed.
So Ian Pryor, the skipper, just 7 minutes remaining in the half. 19-0, Western Force leading Apia Samoa. And another opportunity here for the Western Force. It's been well won on that line out by Thrush. This has been a strength for the Western Force tonight when they use their forward pack. It is with Katui at the back. They start to drive again. Pryor will be directing the traffic, trying to get momentum. Great defence though by Apia Samoa, but now the Western Force start to move. Counter drive there by Apia Samoa though, pushing the Western Force team back. Ball may have gone to ground. In fact, it has. And you can see Apia Samoa very happy there.
Yeah, they've done a good job to bring that down and get bodies inside the Force more to disrupt their momentum.
Well, we saw the Western Force have scored all 3 tries tonight, have been as a result of that forward pack driving. So some great work there by Apia Samoa as John Vaili, the fullback for Apia Samoa, just getting some treatment.
It's great tactics from Van Humphreys. Make sure you use the conditions. You know that the ball's slippery. We want to see an open game, but you know they also want to see a win as well. So use the forward pack. Let's dominate up the middle, which they have.
So in the shadows of half-time, just over 5 minutes remaining. Western Force, 19 points to nil, 3 tries so far to the home side.
So, despite the wet conditions, you get a real look at it there on that shot. The crowd's turned out in big numbers. Hey, have a look at this. Our man, Adrian Barrett, he's out there. We've seen him. This was during the week. Barrow was called in by Tim Sampson to talk to the players, to motivate them before the captain's run. Are they paying attention? Marcel's not paying attention. Scotty, we were there. They were semi-motivational words from the big man. He hasn't quite got Tim's attention either, has he? No, he was good. Gave himself a round of applause, and they were all into it. So that was really good to see Barrow out there and putting in the tale of his time with the West Coast Eagles. He was part of the inaugural West Coast Eagles team. That certainly resonates with these guys who are creating their own history.
Yeah, indeed. Barrow was there with the West Coast Eagles when it all started, and he gave that story to the boys and said basically there's some similarities to what West Coast went through and what the Western Force are going through at the moment. So he said, boys, keep at it because it will take a couple of years, but these guys will be on the precipice of winning a championship.
So what chances here at tight head, Scotty, for the Western? Oh, they've driven just a bit too early. They were looking for the pushover. The tap and play on quickly by Apia Samoa from deep inside their own 22. They want the power try. Here they go, Apia Samoa. Bailey, he's recovered from his injury. He's got Scanlon outside him. Turns it back inside of Bailey. Unfortunately, you can see he's missed the point. Brad Lacey, the counter-attack here by the Western Force. But a great foray there by Apia Samoa. Deegan now. The short ball. Scanlon. Solid in defence. So what a great little bit of counter-attack there, Scotty, by Apia Samoa, showing what they can do.
Oh, that's what they wanted, the power try straight away. A bit of a cutout pass. And Vieli, look at him go down. Nice little no-look pass. There it is, but just couldn't get on the inside.
And he was absolutely with himself. As he should be. Disappointing.
Oh, look at this slap. Oh, whack. What am I doing?
I love the passion that they bring to this contest. So the line-up well won there by Jeremy Thrush. And Katui at the back. So the Force inside their own 22-metre line. High kick finds touch just shy of the halfway line.
Okay, we talk about the cash kicker. It went off last week. Danny Orlando's down with this week's cash kicker. Who is it?
This is Tina Silk. She is playing for a share in $20,000. So $10,000 for herself, $10,000 for a home viewer. Tina, you are so nervous and wet. Now, what about a shout out to the home viewer that you're playing for tonight? You'd love to swap spots ideally, wouldn't you?
I would, but I'll give it my best shot.
Good luck to you.
Danny and Tina, I like that. Tina's playing it strategic, staying out of the rain now, so she's fresh and ready to go, although she should wander out at some stage and acclimatise. It's $10,000 if she can make the place kick from about the 22-metre line.
Mate, I'll be getting 21 mil studs out there ready to go. $10,000.
So the Western Force, as we approach that half-time break, just 4 minutes remaining, they'll be desperate for another try. Bailey quickly puts the ball onto the toe, but no chasers, so it's an easy pickup for Deegan. He sends it deep. And it is with Mali Langoe, who sends the ball into touch.
Yeah, it was amazing last week, wasn't it?
Hey, speaking of last week, let's have a look how the 10 grand went off last week. Here is Owen Rose. The code word. We're straight into it. We're straight into it with Owen Rose, and no, he's knocked it over. Owen! Oh, may well he do. A backflip, cash kick, 10 grand for Owen Rose. How about that? Have a listen to you in the background, Scotty. He was very, very happy, mate.
So the Western Force stander, the big number 8, takes the ball up to the 22-metre line. Western Force looking for their 4th try before the half. Being knocked down, picked up, counter-attack now.
Oh, this is it.
Lolo for Apia Samoa. Katui across in defence. Put down, this time by Samoa. So great counter-attack by Apia Samoa. Trying to go coast to coast, but unfortunately the ball just put down again. Wonderful run there by Leo Lolo.
Oh,
don't hug you once again.
Look at the super slow-mo, and if you didn't think it was wet, that's showing you, but what about this? It's a, forget that 19 zip, it's a super contest.
Folletti just copped it in the head, didn't he? She went lower. But that's Lolo, we talked about him just before the game started, and the Sevens player, the Samoan Sevens player, out in the open. He's done a really good job. Just the pass was just a bit astray.
Lots of support coming via Twitter, which is great. Remember that hashtag, FORVAPI. You've still got just a couple of minutes. If you can send something in now, you may be riding the 10 grand with our cash kicker.
So Deegan to Alatimu, and once again the ball coming loose. It's been played on though by Apia Samoa. They're looking to try and score their first try, but unfortunately knock on court, and good spirit shown there by the Samoans, helping Alcock Tui's feet. Great spirit of the game. There was a little scuffle early, but that's sorted itself out.
So the cash kick,
yes.
The home viewer.
You can't enter, Scotty.
Oh,
that's where you were going.
Can it come from anywhere around the world?
Anywhere in the world.
We're on Twitter. We're around the world. So we could get someone from Switzerland.
Germany.
This is amazing.
Sweden.
Love it. Probably not Croatian.
Could even get someone from England who's had enough of the World Cup now. They're out. No good. Jumped on World Series Rugby.
So Apia Samoa, just a minute and a half remaining before the break. Picked up by Malloy. He goes, the throws to dummy, goes himself. Drew the ankle tap there by Standard, just enough to bring him down. Now Matamu at halfback to Tapili, his second row teammate. Uwili now with it. Samoa, Malloy again. Apia Samoa desperate to score some points before the half-time break. Lolo, long ball up. Now it's with Scanlon again. That may be playing on the top of his toe. Picked up by Peter Grant inside his 22-metre line. Can the Western Force finish this half with a power try? Here they go. It's with Sheminant. Pryor.
Green lights on. Oh, there's Folletti.
It's a great run. Takes play up towards the 10-metre line. Power try still on for the Western Force. 7 points on offer. Stowers with the ball now. Pryor at halfback. He wants it. He gets it. It goes to Deegan. Misses Thrush. Lacey. Almost a Lima tackle there. Now with Adrian Latimo. Stander bounces off. Safua. Pryor. Power try still alive here. Deegan turns it back inside to Bardul. There's the 22-metre line. Western Force only 25 away now. Deegan. Long ball out to Stowers. He steps inside.
Henry.
Taifu, the man with it. Now Pryor. Little chip through. He should have probably held it. It's been picked up by Samoa. And Bracky leaves it behind. No, it's play on. Play advantage. picked up by Tapu, almost like a slips catch from the big front rower. And the referee, Graham Cooper, will call full half-time. And 19 points to nil, the Western Force leading Apia, and energetic for a wet match.
Outstanding stuff out there. We can head out there with Danny Orlando, I think, now with, who have you got from Stan? You got Harry?
Harrison Lloyd is with me right now. Harry, these conditions are crazy. Do you have to change your game plan much going into a game like this?
Yeah, absolutely. Look, we've got to tighten right up. You know, the ball's nice and wet, so the tighter we get to the ball, the more phases we'll be able to string together and the more pressure we'll be able to put on.
Now, you have your family here tonight, so all of them watching you. Is that pretty special? World Series Rugby, your family all here?
Yeah, absolutely. It's good to have them over from Canberra. Looks like they brought the weather with them though, so it's no good.
All right, well, keep warm and enjoy the second half.
Thanks,
Good work from Harrison there. Yes, it is a little bit wet out there, but the conditions haven't stopped the action. There's been plenty of it. And at half-time, it's the Western Force with the lead, 19 points to nil. Look at that rain coming down. Henry Stowers, it hasn't worried him against his old team. He scored twice. And the tackles, well, they have been fast and furious. There's some energy in the game, and the Force have control of it at this stage. Welcome back to a very damp NIB Stadium here in Perth, Western Australia. World Series Rugby Game 5. It's the Western Force against Apia Samoa, and the Force lead at halftime, 19 points to nil. Stand-up one of 3 try scorers, and against his birth nation, Henry Stowers, who's now proudly part of the Western Force, he has scored twice. It's tough out there, there's no doubt about that. Inside the Western Force rooms now, live. They won't give up on that. They've got a nice lead, but they're about much more than that. Back out on the park, though, it's cash kick time, and this is Tina Silk about to kick for $10,000. If she can make this, she gets 10 grand. It went off last game. Owen Rose won himself 10. Tina, it's your turn. Oh, Tina, she got it in the air. That's a little something. She's got a free shirt and she's got the crowd on her side, but not this time for Tina, unfortunately. No money for Tina or for Melissa Wickham, who was the play-at-home viewer. You can be part of it as well by sending in your tweets. There she is, having some fun. Scotty, I think she might be from Fiji, maybe from Samoa, just enjoying life somewhere.
Hotel. For sure.
Where from?
The Cot Hotel.
She's not from the Cot Hotel. We've got in the Indigenous round, of course, we've got some wonderful entertainment out there. World Series Rugby is all about that. The Samoan community out in force and really turning it on. The rain stopped right on cue for that. If that went a little bit awry, perhaps the rain would be handy, but I know it is still raining out there. Fabulous scenes here at NIB Stadium, that's for sure. The Western Force lead 19 points to nil. Now, Marcel Bracchi back in the Western Force team tonight. Hasn't scored so far. He was a try-scoring machine in the first couple of games. He missed the next 2 because he was away playing for America, qualifying for the Rugby World Cup. Let's have a look at his story.
Marcel Bracchi is back in Perth after representing his motherland and continuing preparations for next year's World Cup with the USA Eagles.
3 from 3, which for the United States was the first time we've won back to back in any series, you know. So it's been firstly a huge honour to represent the US, and secondly such a great experience once again with a great group of boys.
Born in California and raised in Cape Town, Marcel now calls Perth home after 5 years on the Force list.
What was an opportunity that the Force gave me 5 years ago, and I thought maybe it would just be something short term, has turned into the place where, you know, I've fallen in love with, I've fallen in love, and obviously looking forward to the next stage with Western Force and World Series Rugby.
Despite missing matches against the Rebels and Crusaders, Marcel is still the leading try scorer for the Force and holds history, scoring the first ever try in World Series Rugby.
It's the first try for the Force. Marcel Bracchi gets the ball.
There's no doubt Marcel is certainly flying high. But sport isn't the only thing on the Star Centre's mind after asking his partner of 3 years to marry him in August.
So we dusted off those knees in Bali, and we were staying in this beautiful villa in Uluwatu, and of course, Ever the gentleman. It was really romantic. He got down on one knee, read out this beautiful letter, and yeah, here we are now.
And their plans for the big day?
Good music, good food, drinks flowing, and we're really just wanting celebration vibe. So stay tuned.
Second half about to begin here, World Series Rugby Game 5. There's the captain Ian Pryor mic'd up with the captain. Easy for me to say. Let's listen to Ian, what he's got to say.
Yeah, you got to get there, mate. You got to lift and go. Yeah, you got to lift and go. Just get there. Sweet. I know Brainard had a good carry there, but just get there. Sweet. I'm trying to get there. Yeah, all good. Just get there, mate. Peter, which way you want to go?
So there we go, the skipper Ian Pryor talking to his team. The opposition's not back out there. He's a man, he doesn't use a lot of words when he doesn't have to, Ian. I was just thinking he might have called his team in this position with Apia Samoa not back out there. There's Marcel Bracchi, the man that we just learned about his proposal. Very nice.
Yeah, it's good to have Ian out there mic'd up. Another evolution of World Series Rugby, which is great to be able to see and hear the players interact. And you saw that Tom Cheminett little interaction. There's a bit of accountability there.
Here he goes.
Boy, you in Bash holding? Okay, you going? Okay. Sweet.
Like it. Andrew Deegan telling the captain what he's going to do. We've worked it out. Captain says, unit, yep, okay, sweet, like it. This is great.
You've got leaders everywhere on the field, so it's great that he listens to those leaders and lets them do what they need to do.
Okay, second half about to begin. Western Force with a 19-0 lead.
So here we go, Deegan with the restart. Game 5, World Series Rugby. And he's overcooked that one. That's gone out on the full, so they can come back for a scrum on halfway. So not the perfect start for the Western Force.
Question for Scotty, what do the Force need to do to keep up the pace in the second half?
Yeah, good question.
Well, give us a good answer.
This is what I'm here for, isn't it?
Stability and gap, please.
Look, these guys are doing really well in tight. That's where they're playing the game. So they've got to continue to keep the ball in tight. And then when they get the opportunities, yeah, have a bit of a run with it. But some dominance to start with, just like the Crusaders did to the Force last game. They came out from half-time and just smashed them. So that's what they need to do to this Apia Samoa team. Learn from that lesson.
So centre field scrum for Apia Samoa. They can go either side. Often hard to defend against. Big drive coming again. Malloy off the back. They go out to their backs through Malay and Goey on the 10-metre line. Malloy again. Good defence there by Jeremy Thrush for the Western Force. Apia Samoa. Omar Asu, one of their big front rowers. Took a nice slips catch early in or towards the back end of that first half. Matamu.
Release.
Met solidly there. Ball comes out. Short side they go. That's with Asifa Amatala. Uwili. Matamu now. Good defence by the Western Force. Apia Samoa really struggling to break that advantage line. Sayamalu with the kick through. Ball almost bouncing up for him. Still it comes with Apia Samoa. Playing advantage, the referee says. So still with the Samoans. Just inside Western Force territory. They're looking for their first try of the match. Ball bounces away. It's been picked up by Matamu. Losing ground though they are with the defence of the Force. Good tackle there by Teifu. Now Tapu, all 115 kilos of him.
He's a big man, isn't he?
He's a massive man.
And they're up there. Bruce Brothers.
Sameolu, Vaili. Lovely catch there, though, by Alatimo. Pops it on to Katui. The hooker. Now, Alcock probably should have reached up for that one.
Oh! Deegan, spectacular.
Oh,
11 playing the man without the ball.
So it's a shame that didn't come off. Deegan with the ball back inside, and I think it came off Lacey's foot.
Have a look at this. What a great picture. Oh, what a great play. Where is he? He's gone.
Nearly got the grab again.
All the tricks on display by the Western Force.
He is near Wallaby material, I reckon, the form he's in. If he keeps going like this, he'd have to join the conversation.
His game management is increasing game by game, and I think, you know, you've got a great leader in Pryor inside him that's letting him
just your number 8.
generate the momentum for the Western Force, and you've got the sensei at the back there, Peter Grant, who's been there and done that for South African rugby. So he's got some really good leaders that are generating some momentum with Andrew personally, and I think you can see it in his game.
As we see Pangu Malloy, the big number 8, just getting some treatment. Scotty, how important is that experience in the team? We've got Thrush in the forwards and we've got Peter Grant on the back.
Oh, it's invaluable.
Let's have a listen to the captain.
It's not just fucking words. We've got to do it out here, okay? Make sure we do our job. Look after the pill, okay? Let's go.
Now he's angry. Now he's angry. Now this is live sport. This is the heat of the battle. We do revolutionary things here at World Series Rugby. There's going to be the odd word that you don't want your boys and girls to use at home on the sporting field. But what we are is getting right into it.
Sweet, let's go.
Samoa's very...
And I like it. He's angry.
Yeah, and Samoa's very much a team. Apia Samoa, a team that builds on confidence. And the Force haven't come out and done the things that Timmy Sampson, Van Humphries, Jacques Ferrari have told these boys to do at half-time. Get in there and make a difference in the first 5 to 10 minutes of this game.
So right on halfway.
Taking advantage, knock on by Blue at the top.
Sayamolo to Malloy. Another big hit there by Kaitui. Almost worthy of the Lima scale. The number 2 against the big number 8.
Knock on White.
So the Western Force on the counter-attack up to the 22-metre line. Will they respond to their skipper's call? Thrush. Gets the ball clear now with Pryor. The hooker goes himself. Kaitui again. Now onto the 22-metre line. Pryor with it. Referee playing advantage. Deegan. Tafu still going. They spin him around. Malloy tries to rip that ball free. Pryor. Stander leaves it behind. Play on though, says the referee. Inside the 22-metre line now. Pryor knocked back, still managed to get the pass away to Thrush. And he knows one way, just drives straight up the middle of the park. Getting some forward momentum for his team. Now it's with Peter Grant in from fullback. Western Force looking for their first try of this second half. Ball not coming out. Penalty.
No clear release.
Once you make the tackle, you've got to get away from the ball.
That was great meters from Jeremy Thrush. Just when the team needed some direction, he just, once again, we talked about leadership. He just took it under his wing and said, yep, I'm moving this forward.
Sorry, 9. Scrum.
So you see Peter Grant probably not really liking being tackled by
big man.
Tapu.
Yeah. Didn't quite register that one perhaps on the Lima scale, but I reckon he fed it. If Jeremy Thrush gets one, well, Johan Bartle will see the Lima scale in action if they can get hold. The skipper with the ball at the moment as the scrum has been called. We heard referee Graham Cooper do it early and say he's not going to take any nonsense.
Call, B, OVB.
So centre field scrum, 15 metres away. Great opportunity here for the Western Force. They put the big drive on. Will they try and keep it in? Stander wants to keep it at his feet. They march their way towards the try line. Great control. Picked up now by Stander. Pins the ears back. Sends it wide to Grant. Now to Marcel Brackie. He's only 2 metres away. Well tackled there by Sayamalu. Picked up off the back by Olcott, and he's over.
Chrissy Olcott. Try.
Great control again, just coming from that forward pack, the forward control. Brian and Stander, the man, looking after the ball. Then they went wide. And Chris Olcott there to clean up the crumbs and score the try. 24-0.
Great work. They certainly took advantage of the advantage, didn't they? And Adrian Barrage is out there with the try scorer, Chris Olcott, right now. Adrian?
Mate, how was that, buddy? The set piece is magnificent, and off the back there, fantastic.
Yeah, the top five's working bloody hard.
No, we have.
It's good to see it. Chemo's been killing it. And just to get the reward was really great.
Well done, mate. Brilliant start to the second half.
Good work, Adrian. And now back to Peter Grant. to add more to it. We were in there live with the captain. We could feel they were getting a bit edgy. It had only been 5 or 6 minutes when it hadn't scored, but they want every ball to be played their way, and so will Peter Grant here. He will not want to miss the 2 extra bonus points.
And he makes no mistake, threads the needle and takes his team out 26 points to nil. The Western Force leading Apia Samoa.
Well, it's a back row's dream, isn't it? Number 8 off the back. 15. Rolls the ball to Marcel. Great little inside run. And then who's there? Chrissy Alcock. And he makes it a trifecta for the back row. That's 3 tries from the boys.
Yeah, they're having a night out. The back row for the Western Force. And Chris Alcock, great reward. He's got a wonderful work rate, constantly busy around the park in attack and defence.
Yeah, he's been great for the Force. He's just such a great player, underrated player in Australian rugby. He's got a very good running game. He's much like Michael Hooper, and he's very tight on the ball. And you know, with a plethora of back rowers, particularly open sides out there, you know, it's been tough for Chrissy Alcock, but he's still loving it over here in WA.
So Henry Sua'u with the restart, a low kick, and now the Western Force with an opportunity. It comes back to Deegan, steps outside of his 22, sends it to the sky. Scanlon now to Malloy. We've seen him before. He loves contact.
Tackle.
Takes 2 to bring him down. Now they go. You can see from that shot the numbers that the Apia Samoa are trying to get out wide, but the ball's slow to come. Now it makes its way, but no. Sent deep. And Peter Grant, the bird's eye view.
It's a great look at the game, isn't it? It really is. You see the options that the good sides, or when they're in good position, provide themselves and keep the opposition guessing.
Yeah, and you can see the players just filling those gaps in attack and defence. It's a wonderful shot.
It's good tactically too. I saw like the hooker in the front row, just there in the defence line. I would be going straight for that area.
So that kick not out, Deegan. Ian Pryor sends him, or tells him to send it downtown, and he does. Scanlon, the man with the ball for Apia Samoa. Now Malloy, he's got all the skills, unleashes a massive thigh onto that ball. And Lacey goes into contact up against Safua. So the Western Force right back on the attack. Deegan just leaving it behind.
Knock on 4.
They play on.
Advantage.
Through Tapili for Apia Samoa. And that's Sua'u, the new number 10.
Advantage is over.
As the Samoans go wide, they've got some space and some numbers. That's Malilangowi. Now inside Western Force territory. They need quick ball.
Stay.
Western Force allowed to get their defensive pattern set. And the big front rower, that's Ama Asu with a wonderful short ball there. Enjoying the half-back roll. Now you really...
You're in the way.
Will they tap and go quickly? Yes, they do. Willie wants to get things on. He's just lost that ball. And they're disappointed.
Very disappointed. Oh, good option there. Yeah, they had a bit of momentum, the Apia Samoa team, and they wanted the ball in hand. And finally, they're playing rugby, which is great in these conditions. Just a little drop ball there on the tap. Sorry about that.
Just wait, just wait.
Ian Pryor just calming his troops down.
Yeah, Stowe's got, look at, he got a bit of cut on the eye there. He got reeled back after a little head clash from, I think it might have been Deegan. That could have been Lima scale hit.
Yeah, it's opened him up.
You have a hard head there.
So the 1 minute scrum, of course, in World Series Rugby.
Crouch.
Referee Graham Cooper has reminded the players of that.
Set.
Have to get it moving.
So Pryor with the scrum feed. Picked up off the back by Stander. Offloads to Pryor. Drops it on the boot and sends into touch.
Now, there's some big boys, some very big boys out on the pitch, and there are some big boys in the stands as well, Danny Orlando.
Former UFC heavyweight Samoa the Hulk Palele is here, and it's great to have your support for World Series Rugby.
Thank you. It's just awesome night.
And you spent a bit of time with the Western Force boys in pre-season, didn't you, training them up?
Yeah, I have, just putting them through some tackling stuff and kind of improving their tackling, but these guys are hard boys, so.
And now rugby's not completely foreign to you. You had your time playing once, didn't you?
I have once upon a time back in the day, but then I went into the octagon and did the work in there. But this is a great night. It's perfect what they're doing. I hope everyone gets behind it around the world.
Well, it looks like you could be out there, Samoa, but you are about to take part in an acting career. You're starting that off now?
Yeah, that's going to get.
It's all under wraps, all around. Great to have you here, Samoa. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
I think players around the world would have breathed a sigh of relief when he went to the octagon.
I'm not sure that actors around the world have worried at this stage, but the Hulk coming to a big screen near you.
Is it the Hulk 3? That's why he couldn't say anything.
Oh, look at this. There's some heat in the kitchen with the captain as well. We better not go in there right now. There are some places in elite sport you don't want to join in. That's for sure, but again, they do control themselves, and the captain's always one that leads that charge, not let the emotion go too far. And again, great. Well, here we go.
In the breakdown, allowing you to get on the ball.
Oh, so he was obstructing?
There's 3 penalties in quick succession around the breakdown. I need a change or someone's going to end up.
Do I have time to have a word? Yeah.
Let's stay with that.
Piggies.
Massive thing.
Piggies. Oi, ghost now, okay? Ghost rucks now, okay? Ghost rucks. Oi, next one's going to the bin, so ghost rucks, okay? Let's go. Ghost, here we go, next job.
Okay, so skipper responding to that from the referee. Great to go involved and hear what's going on. So many sports you sit up here in the commentary but go, I wonder what they're saying now. I wish they were thinking this, or I wonder what they're thinking. How good's that? I know one thing they're thinking. Bloody hell, it's a bit wet.
Yes.
And it's Asifa Amatala, the man that he was picking. I think he could have picked a smaller man if he's going to have a bit of push and shove than prior. Not the biggest man in the park.
The time is off, so you can go and get stitched.
So a serious injury there, you called it.
Brian knows he's mic'd up too, so I love the theatre of TV. He's bringing in these guys and making sure that they hear him on TV.
Here we go, Brian Lima, a legend of the game in Samoa, watching from Wellington, New Zealand. Go up here, great work. Thank you for that. Use that hashtag, FORVAPI, and you can get involved as well. Now, it's Henry Stowers, isn't it, that's coming off with the injury. Had a magnificent start to the match, and this is the last place he'll want to be.
Yeah, 2 tries for him. Had a great night, part of that back row that's dominated this match so far.
And I think it's Tevin Ferris, Mick, that's come into the Western Force lineup. They lead 26 points to 0, and certainly the Samoans out there, they deserve something to take away from this game. They are trying their hardest, and well, they're doing more than that. They are taking it up to the opposition.
Indeed, and I think the Samoan crowd, there's a lot of them out here. Would love to see them get over the white line.
And this is a great opportunity for them to do just that. They are only 15 metres away from the line. The referee playing advantage as the Western Force come away with it, but is advantage being played to Apia Samoa. They may tap and go again here quickly. Yes, they do. They play on fast, trying to catch the Western Force unawares. But unfortunately, as you can see, that rain making it very difficult to hang on to the ball.
Oh, and the ball gave him a few choice words while he was down.
The ball on Hoke now. Looks as if there are some sweeping substitutions here. I might think I can see Cameron Orr and Heath Tessman coming on. We can. They don't get any smaller.
Plenty of experience. The Western Force losing nothing as a result of these replacements.
Mate, Kaitui's done a good job. Heath Tessman having a bit of a break, been on the bench, and Kaitui's been doing that for the last 5 weeks of World Series Rugby, and he's had his opportunity in these conditions. So I think he's done a really good job.
I think you took him with both hands tonight. He's been fantastic around the park.
And Tom Sheminan, hasn't he scrum well?
Yeah, they've had the forward pack has been fantastic tonight. So another good scrum by the Western Force. They've lifted up the Apia Samoa front row. And I know that's one thing the front rows love it when they can lift the opposition. So they're pretty happy with that scrum tonight.
Sorry, Sheminen's still out there. Harrison Lloyd went off.
Look at this
So
picture.
look at this.
From the down the ground camera, you get a super look at that.
Lifting Tapu, he could see his house from up there.
How did he lift that big
How did he
fella?
lift
Wow.
that?
That's the force in the scrum, isn't it? You get a big fella off like that off the ground.
Amazing.
Okay, Adrian Burridge down on the bench now.
I'm literally on the bench, Mark, too. Have a look at this with my mates, the Apia boys, who are ready to go. Boys, you all good? Big finish to the game?
Yeah, easy.
No doubt about it. What do you think? Can you do it?
Yeah.
It's pretty wet down here, Mark. The boys, they want to get out there, but they're excited.
Thanks, Barrett. We all know you just wanted to get out of the rain, and we'll go to any length to try to do it. I don't think they can come back and win it, but they can score, and that has to be something they're chasing.
Yeah, absolutely. So Leo Lolo, we've seen him in some space. Uwili leaving the ball behind. Just the handling error is really starting to affect this team. They need to keep their heads up, though, but pretty disappointing.
Didn't those Samoans know who they were talking to?
That didn't appear so. No. There are some young players amongst this team. The Apia boys, of course, they're a select group invited here to play in this invitational match, and many of them hadn't been on a plane before. You know, they're new to lots of things. This is a great experience for them, and look, and they're still, you know, look at that, still happy to be out there despite the conditions, obviously. Here we go. Lisa's watching in Japan. How good is this? But how bad is the weather? Well, that's a good question. How do you describe it and actually do it justice?
It's torrential at times. It's eased off a bit, but it's been horrendous. Made it very difficult
Easy.
for the teams.
Well, we thought it was going to be worse. We had lightning and hail warnings coming through, so that's how bad the weather could have been.
And remember, you can get involved too if you're watching on Twitter. We are live on Twitter right around the world, World Series Rugby Game 5. And that's the hashtag we want you to use, FORVAPI, Force versus Apia. So just use that hashtag. You might have a question for Scotty, a question for Mick, or a comment on what you're seeing. Of course, we love it. Growing the game as much as we can. Of course, this game of World Series Rugby is live in 7. On 7 here in Perth and right around Australia on Fox Sports, and now right around the world via Twitter at WSR.
As Molloy took that ball into contact, but they've managed to keep it up, the Western Force, and turn it over. And you can see they're pretty happy with it. If you keep the ball up off the ground, it does become a contest.
Now, we don't want a diplomatic incident here. We've just been with Apia. We now have to go deep inside the Australian ranks with the Foreign Minister, I think, Danny Orlando.
Yes, so we are here with Julie Bishop, the Minister for Foreign Affairs. Thank you so much for being part of World Series Rugby. What's the experience been like for you so far?
Apart from the weather, it's been absolutely amazing. A big crowd here tonight. A great game. I'd like to see Samoa score to make it a little bit more competitive, but it's a lot of fun and a great atmosphere here.
We do need Apia Samoa to get back in there. Now, I do need to ask you, you're a great supporter of Australian sport. We see your face at a lot of games. What is it that you love about this, you know, this type of community, this type of environment in Australia?
I'm really delighted that we're playing a Pacific Island nation in Apia Samoa, and Western Force are a great team, and I'm a very parochial West Australian. But to see us playing with teams across the Pacific, I think is a fantastic statement of Australia's interests in the world. This is our region, and I think it's wonderful that we're all playing sport. And sport diplomacy is a very important element of our foreign policy.
Absolutely. Julie, you stay warm, enjoy the rest of the match, and we hope to see you at another World Series Rugby match soon.
I'll be back. It's a great night.
Thank you.
How good's that, Julie Bishop there? We all know what happens with ping-pong diplomacy. This is rugby union diplomacy here happening right in front of our eyes.
She's a great rugby fan, as we see Apia Samoa right on the attack now. They're managing to string some faces together. Lolo up to Sapua, turning it back inside to Lolo. And I think he may have dropped that ball again, but a great bit of defensive work there from Bardul. Managed to get his mitt on that ball and drag it down.
Isn't it great to see Julie Bishop in the crowd supporting, like you said?
And she's a genuine rugby fan, so it's great to have her.
And particularly when she says, like, bringing Samoa across.
And it was the second one, so it was penalty kick.
bringing Apia Samoa across and giving them that experience of a big crowd like this, a Western Force team that is working really hard in this World Series of Rugby. It's great exposure for these kids.
Okay, so an injury concern there for Brian Odstander. We're talking about how good World Series Rugby is. Great to hear that from Julie Bishop. Rugby royalty is, I reckon, the coach of the Crusaders, Scott Robertson. He was here a couple of weeks ago. This is what he thinks of it all.
For them to stay alive, you've got to give it to Andrew Forrest. You know, Twiggy just come in, we present him with the jersey, and thanks for you getting us over here and having this opportunity. So he's done a great thing, a great man. Well, great men always step up when needed, and he has. And you know, rugby's really strong here still, and it's a great concept.
Yeah, it was great to hear that in the after-match press conference. They really did enjoy their time here. I think Scott loved it because he got hold of a couple of waves while he was here in water that he could get in, as opposed to at home. And look at the colour. There's Westy, the mascot, up there playing the drums.
And what a great gesture by the Crusaders to present a jersey to Andrew Forrest. It just says a lot about the game and the people involved in it. So it's a fantastic concept. It is the future of rugby, World Series Rugby. And we're back with the action now, and Brian Odstander again keeping that ball at the back of the scrum. The referee calls advantage now. Pride takes it out. They're inside their 22. A power try is on the option here, but unfortunately the ball comes loose.
It's not a game that suits the fast play, is it? And that's what Apia Samoa are trying to do, and the smiles on the face says, we want to play dry weather footy, it just can't.
Yeah, they're trying to. And full credit for the boys. A bit of a couple of long passes out there, but handling's tough. So the Western Force are out there in their Indigenous jersey as well, boys. Looks pretty good.
It's a great strip. Always been a fan of the Western Force strip, the Indigenous one. It was a great night. The celebrations before kick-off tonight were fantastic, as that ball fails to find touch with Aono, the captain. He throws a long pass midfield to Sua'u, and it's beaten Deegan. The chase coming from Sua'u. In fact, that's Scanlon wraps Deegan up, and he's not happy.
Okay, as we pause out there, the celebrities are everywhere. Danny Orlando, Andrew Forrest now.
Now, yes, Andrew Forrest does have a very special message for World Series Rugby fans.
Hey, Laura, I just want to say to all the Sea Blue, to everyone who's got out there, who's braved this weather, wasn't put off by the weather reports, who came out and stuck up and backed their Western Force, I just want to say thank you so much. You are the heroes.
It's an outstanding turnout tonight. Thank you so much, Andrew.
Thank you. Thank you.
Andrew Forrest there, who is the man, let's be honest, we won't mince words, Scotty Robertson said it just a moment ago, who is the man behind World Series Rugby. If it wasn't for he, well, none of us would probably be here. And as you mentioned, Mick, it is the future, and there are great expansion plans and discussions happening as we speak, and part of it is the fact that this broadcast is live on Twitter right around the world, and there's so many things happening. It's about trial and error. We don't get everything right, Scotty, like your jacket. You know, some things just don't quite work, but most are going okay.
Mate, I think I'm looking pretty good out here in my salmon. It's fishy water.
You're the fish John West rejected, I think. But
that's a bit harsh. So a few changes with Stander, though. He's been on there since the start. He loves a run. It's a great hit he's just put on Matamu, the new replacement halfback. That's Fines. And just in front of Alcock, not able to hang on to it. Advantage being played. So Samoa with some quick hands. Safua tackled early. And Scotty.
Yes, we have the debutant is on the field. Jack McGregor. Jack's coming.
Okay, yeah, you're right. The debutant's on. Barrow was just down there having a chat, I think, mate. We've lost Barrow in the rain. There he is.
Yeah,
come in, Adrian.
Great scenes when Jack McGregor came on, the rookie, the debutant. Lockie Reed announced him onto the ground, and the crowd really went up to support the young fella. Looks like he might even be back at fullback now, so we'll keep an eye on him. Big future, this kid, and the future of the Western Force right there.
Scotty, we were in the rooms when Jack McGregor was presented his jumper there we are, with Marcel Brackie. It was just after Barra had spoken to the boys, and then Marcel presented the jumper to this young man. He's a Sydney-sider. Amazing story, Mick and Scotty. He's a Sydney-sider who a couple of weeks ago was here playing for the Melbourne Rebels, and then has transferred to the Western Force. He wasn't necessarily considered someone who's going to make his way into the team, but maybe by the end of the series. What, 2 games later, there he is.
Yeah, Riverview kid that made it down to Melbourne Rising. He's made it through, got his contract with the Melbourne Rebels, and played against the Force a couple of weeks ago. Great job there. They took him over to Mauritius for the 10s. An even better job, and he's really impressed the coaches already with his attitude, and he's already got that belief as part of being one of the Force men. So they've given him this opportunity tonight.
He's loved the opportunity, of course, but he has genuinely loved the organisation that he's come into, and we were lucky enough, as I say, to be in there. There was some real emotion when he got the jumper from both sides. It was great, Mick.
Yeah, and again, there's the Western Force, the opportunity that this team does give to players like Jack McGregor to come across and experience professional rugby, as Ayono for Apia Samoa. They're looking for their first try. As Malloy, in fact, that's Asifa Amatala. They've got some great runners of the ball in their back row. They're really trying to get that ball out.
Careful with the boot.
Oh, Heath Testman, great work. Nice and fresh.
Let's get Brian Lima in for a game of bull rush after the game.
Yes.
We haven't had the hits that we thought we might have had, but there have been a couple that have just managed to register high on the Lima scale, that's for sure, as Deegan puts the ball out here. You mentioned it just a moment ago. I just wanted to mention Peter Farmer, the Noongar artist who came up with this jumper that you're looking at there, the one-of-the-kind Indigenous jersey to celebrate the first Indigenous round of World Series Rugby. It is a good-looking strip, and despite it being pretty cold out there, I think they say those jerseys selling like hotcakes in amongst the merchandise stands with the fans.
Yeah, it's good. The Black Swan. And that's the centerpiece of the jersey. It's got real significance with family, and this is what these boys are trying to generate.
And that's that try. This could be the try that they've been looking for. And it's Samoa, who has he got the pace? No, he hasn't. He offloads it though to Maomi. So Apia Samoa against the run of play. Great tackle there by Testman. Another sloppy ball. Lolo. And a knock on.
High tackle.
It's a high tackle.
Number 16. Thank you.
It was spectacular, wasn't it? The interception, that's what makes it great. And the power try can come into effect there big time. When you make the intercept, you have a crack. That wasn't quite there. So we look at the down the ground image of this. Have a look at it. You get to see them. That's fabulous vision. See them coming from all angles. And then
the speed
taken down.
People around the ball. It is great to this World Series camera. Wow, this is awesome, mate. Love it.
So Heath Testman, I think, will be there taking over as captain, running the shots. Ian Pryor off, so I think.
Yeah, look, he
seems to be doing a fair bit of talking.
Hands in the air. He doesn't know what's going on. He's going, get me on the mic. I have more to say than Pryor.
Now here we go.
Yep, we just double-checked that with a quick look down to the bench. We can't see it from our commentary position, but Ian Pryor, the skipper's come off, and yeah, Heath Testman, the vice-captain, he's the new man.
And here we go, Apia Samoa. They're 5 metres away from the Western Force try line, looking for their first try of the night. There's the try line there, you can see it on the screen. They need a good line-out win. It's by Matamu, he takes it cleanly. Referee playing advantage. Apia Samoa need to try and keep that ball in tight. Now they start to drive. Can they give the Western Force some of their own medicine close to the try line? It's still with Apia Samoa.
Still playing advantage.
Sau, the man with the ball on the ground. They go short. Western Force up quickly in defence.
What a view.
Apia Samoa through Ayono. Just one off at the moment, the pick and drive. And the penalty coming. Will they try and play on quickly, or are they going to look for the people going for the pocket? He warned earlier.
Number 20.
Tevin Ferris.
Taking out the lifter. Yellow card. Hold. Just wait.
So Tevin Ferris has been given his martial orders. He's got a bit of the cheese. The yellow card, it's out.
Yeah, hold up.
The referee did warn them early. And another infringement, they would see someone sent to the bin, so he's off for 10 minutes.
Taking out the lifter.
Okay, so we did say Graham Cooper, a young man finding his way, doing a great job.
Catching the Western Force defence unawares, and he's gone the quick tap, and he's managed to crash his way over. As the Western Force was still thinking about their man going to the bin, Leo Lolo seizing the opportunity, and Apia Samoa on the board.
Well, this was a good choice, wasn't it? Straight up, I'm going to take it under my wing, and I'm going to score the try for the team.
Just a little dummy, just enough to put the Western Force defence off balance, and he straightened up and found the gap.
Tell you what, great decision considering the last 3 taps have been knock-ons.
Yeah, you're right.
He's gone for it.
Well, it did caught everyone off guard. You called it brilliantly, Mick. I think that the Force was still making sure that they got themselves their house in order, being 1 down. I don't think they thought they were about to be challenged immediately right in front.
Well, they've done their homework. They could have gone to a line-out driving more, but the Western Force forwards have been really working hard in that area with Van Humphries, and they're knocking everyone down. So here to the kick, good try, Lilo Lolo.
So Mali Leangoe, the man looking to add the extras. They've got 5, they want 7. He's just pushed that to the right, so the score remains 26 points to 5. Western Force leading Apia Samoa, but that'll be a real confidence booster for Apia Samoa, knowing that they're playing against 14 men for the next 10 minutes in this match. They'll be looking to add to their tally.
Yeah, good to see if there's some confidence coming into their game now. And it's a good opportunity for the Western Force to bring together and band together. 1 man down.
Some of the bigger names for the Force on the bench there with the substitutions. There's Jack McGregor getting into the game big time and trying to take them all on. That's one thing Coach Tim Sampson has done right throughout the series, Mick. He's made all his rotations. He's given everyone a run and continuing to do it tonight. Not the second stringers, because there's some quality out there and there's just an example of it, but some players that have been asked some questions, let's put it that way.
So Fines now to Lacey. And there's Mali Leangoe again involved in the play. Fines at halfback. Deegan. A sloppy ball but picked up well by Tafu. It's come loose. Could it be a foot race? No, Deegan well back in defence.
Knock on by White.
So still the ball in the Western Force possession. Fines.
An injured player off the ball, about to be run over, maybe.
There's Mali Leangoe going. Great run by the outside centre. Lolo in at halfback. And there's Sueoi. And he's been taken out on something like a Soccer World Cup, looking for the penalty. As the Western Force on the counter-attack.
Oh, that's a Lima scale. That is a good hit.
That is a Lima scale hit.
By Lemus.
We'll see what the machine comes up with in just a moment.
And Deegan looking for the safety of the touchline. Just won't find it, trying to settle things down. Ayono, the big captain, looking for the don't argue and thrown into touch.
Wow, that was a great hit.
Boys, let it go.
Here it is. Okay, what the Lima scale come up with? Oh, bang, that's big. 7.5.
Yeah, I think that was bigger than the one on Marcel for sure.
He wore most of that on his head.
We're still calibrating the machine, so just getting that one right. There you go. That tells you how big it was. Johan Bartle still
waddle going on.
Still feeling it.
Hey, Boo Boo, where are you?
Brian Lima would have been really proud of that one, that's for sure. Hey, we talked about the celebrities that are out there. We've got a former, I know you're a big man on campus, Scotty, in terms of former Western Force players. There's only one bigger than you. That's the Honey Badger, who's the star of The Bachelor. Excuse me, I'm not big on my reality television shows. I think, Danny, you're with one of the stars of The Bachelorette. Am I right?
This is Rachel Govignon, is how I say her name. She was on Bachelor in Paradise 2018. And speaking of the Honey Badger, now, Rachel, he's the Bachelor this year. What are your honest thoughts on him?
Okay, so I feel like the honey badger is like the male version of Sophie Monk. He looks like he's going to be very entertaining. He looks very, very funny, especially with that gollywog hair. Like, I'm not sure if the girls are going to fall for his looks. I think they're going to fall for his personality.
She's still an eligible bachelorette as well to all the World Series Rugby fans. So hopefully, you know, we might be able to tee you up with someone tonight, right?
Well, you know, the boys are looking quite hot. Don't know anything about the game, but I'm having a great
Well, there you go. Enjoy the rest of the game, Rachel. Thank you.
Rachel's having a great perv. Not sure the honey badger's a fan. We better get back to the footy.
It's on a scamper, takes it up to the 22. Heiberg all the way. Will he go? Yes, he will. And the dive to finish it off.
Chris Heiberg. Look at that. Fresh on the field.
And don't the forwards love it when a big man scores a try? So great work by Isaac Fines, making the initial gap, and then Chris Heiberg in support.
Oh, and look at the picture here from the drone. We've been able to get the drone back up. It'd been blown off course for a while.
And the speed of him from outside the 22. He'll be exhausted.
That's brilliant. Let's get down to Chris Heiberg. The big man scored. Barry, you look
Yeah,
tiny.
I've got the big man here. He's excited, and his teammates will tell. How good was that, Chris? How good was that?
First try in 10 years. I'll take it, eh?
First try in 10 years. The big fella across the line, and weren't the teammates happy? How good was it for you, though?
Oh, it was good. Saw the line, went over.
Oh, you were stepping like a back, mate. Well done, buddy. All the best.
And there's the conversion. Western Force 33-5. How good was that from Chris? Let's have a look at it one more time. He saw the Lions, got it, he just went for it.
Oh, look at him go. I think he was smiling right beforehand. They had 10 years. But really, that lead up was from Isaac Fines. He's great job out of the ruck there. Saw the couple of players that were lazy. Good step and nice inside pass. It was great.
So there it is, big Chris Heiberg, the big man, and watch the tongue come out here. Have a look at it, he loved every minute of it. Yeah, there it is, baby. And then the conversion from Pre to Grad, 33-5, the Force lead inside the last 6 minutes of this match.
It's all happening here at NIB Stadium. We've got tries aplenty as the Western Force looking for a power try. They started off in their own 22, and it's with Henry Taifu. Now with Fines.
And there he is
Heiberg,
again.
he wants more. He's hungry to score. Fines again. He's been busy since he's got on. Deegan cuts out to Alatimo. He's still going.
It'd be good if the Force can get their first power try tonight.
Yeah, they're working hard at it. Their teammates, they're inside Apia Samoa territory. And just unfortunately that ball dribbling into touch. But good intent by the Western Force from deep inside their own territory.
And because we're going worldwide,
yes,
the good man next to me, Mick Collis, he came up with this beautiful poem, Ode to a Prop.
Yes, and that was it.
And that was it. If anyone, you're on the internet right now, YouTube, Ode to a Prop, and this man right here sums it up perfectly. I think tonight, the try's going to get longer and longer, and chip kicks and whatever else, man.
By the end of the night, that will be the greatest try ever scored.
Well, lots of people watching from lots of places, loving at World Series Rugby on Twitter, live from the UK. But can you keep the weather, Perth? Oh, come on, that is a bit rich. Hey, they win one game of soccer. Backwards. And fair to go. Hey, by the way, you'll be watching tonight the 3rd versus 4th playoff. Am I wrong? Not the 1 versus 2 win. But anyway, let's keep it on board. We love our cousins, don't we?
Stick it to them, hey?
Yeah, no, you're right. Stick it to them.
Keep watching from the UK, guys. I love it.
So Western Force.
Playing advantage.
Referee playing advantage. So Apia Samoa looking for their second try. 3.5 minutes remaining on the clock. They'll start to try things. They'll want to try and score again. But pretty messy there from both sides. Referee signalling
Scrum, knock on blue.
Great drive in there from Heath Tessman.
Yes.
Coming in from the side, terrific.
Do we have a lemur on that? Come on, hey.
The Lima scale, it's taken hold. We had a tweet from Charles Richter saying, what happened to me? Well, the Richter scale's gone, Charles. It's been replaced by the Lima scale. Brian Lima, in all seriousness, the coach of Apia Samoa, with this really young group, he would have enjoyed what they've thrown up tonight.
Indeed, they've lifted, they've performed. Hard conditions, like you've got to think Samoa, whether they get these wet conditions over there, not too sure, but these boys have obviously done really well in the second half, so I think they've really captured World Series Rugby, but the weather in general, and just gone with it, and you know, we've seen a better performance, so well done to those boys.
And they're what it's all about. You know, they've been trying to run it from inside their 22. They've been chasing that power try. The game's all about keeping the ball in play for longer, and they've embraced that. Had a great crack, 33-5 to the score. Just 2.5 minutes remaining.
Now, we must remember, by the way, that the Samoan national team is playing later on tonight, Perth time, well, they're there anyway, but they have to finish a playoff against Germany. They win that, and they're in the Rugby World Cup once again. They'll go up against Japan, Ireland, Scotland, Russia there, and they belong in the World Cup, that's for sure. They've had some great performances over the duration.
And Matamu then with another big hit on Bardul. Those two big men clashing. They want to get on that Lima scale. But it is with Apia Samoa in possession, looking for their second try. Drops it on the toe, picked up by Tessman. Heiberg again. Lacey into the defence.
That's another good hit.
Just outside the 22.
Ivan Safua, well done.
As Deegan, Western Force using their backs. Alcock looks like he may have gone down in that clash.
Out, White, out.
Fines with it. Comes back the open side. Oh, another big hit there on Deegan, driving him back.
Oh, that was 22. Andrew Deegan that was hurt a moment ago, or hit. And this is Chris Alcock, who's feeling the effects of something earlier on.
Oh, some sore humans now. They're coming out with all... Bang! There it is.
Oh, that's where Chris got taken a little bit high.
Right around the neck there.
That was Lima scale action too. Wonderful slow-mo ISO images, not so wonderful for Chris, who's really feeling it at the moment. And Craig Cooper doing the smart thing, saying, you're going to make a decision, you feel for the player, but you're going off. Tevin Ferris was on and off with an injury, and it looks like he might come back on, or is he hanging on?
He'll be back for his 10 minutes. He's had his 10 minutes in the bin, so he'll be back on for the last minute.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I forgot about that. Seems like so long ago.
Oh, you don't want to be going to the bin in this cold weather, do you?
Not at all.
Having to walk back up.
Yeah.
Take on 1 more minute.
Not long to go in this one.
Apia Samoa.
Oh, here's Stowers.
Stowers winds up, swaps the arm, goes into contact. Lamasio with the defence. Fines now to Deegan. The Force, they go wide through power. They want another try before full time. They've got about a minute to do it. Deegan now to McGregor, the debutant.
Accidental, guys. Scrum, white ball.
Tevin Ferris trying to get back on.
Accidental. Scrum, white ball.
So, yeah, he has got back on. He's decided to get back on for the last tiny little bit. Tevin Ferris, he's keen. You get a place in this team, you want to keep it.
Just looking at McGregor, there's some stuff going on in back play where the players got in each other's way.
Yeah, a bit of a combo thing there. Jack just new to the team, and a couple of the moves, unfortunately, got him behind his block runner.
So, PPRC with the scrum feed for Apia Samoa. And Lolo picks it up. The big don't argue to Alcock. Still going, Lolo.
He's been great tonight, Lolo.
Scored a try, looking for a second. RC in at halfback.
Blue
takes the step.
18, advantage.
So the pick and drive by Apia Samoa. RC looking for a gap. Ball comes loose. Picked up by Lolo.
No advantage.
He was away again there.
18.
He's been
18 blue
absolutely
offside.
dynamic tonight for Apia Samoa, the number 7.
Wants to shoot.
And boys, number 17's out there for Samoa. Turi Uini. He's from Maitland Blacks, New South Wales country team, and he's been involved with the Samoan outer squad for a little bit of time and lost 16 kilos over their first half of the year.
Wow.
He's still a big man though.
Yeah.
You kept that little nugget up your sleeve to the end.
Oh, mate, I was waiting for him to come on.
The clock tells you the match coming to a close, so after leading 19-zip at half-time, Apia have been much better, 14-5 the scoreline if you want to look at it that way in the second half.
So Leo Brown, the new hooker on. RC leaving that behind, and his boot behind, and the ball behind. So the Western Force through Alcock, quickly onto it now for the counter-attack. Can the Western Force finish with a try? The big crowd would appreciate it. Heiberg down on to clean it up. Good counter-rucking there from Apia Samoa, but still with the Western Force. Deegan. Tafu. Now McGregor. Fortunately,
Knock on.
the youngster just not able to hang on to that ball.
Directly into touch. No. Knock on.
But some good play there by the Western Force.
Well, there was no big slapping like the Samoan boys in the first half, but he would be filthy, old Jack McGregor. Those kind of little opportunities that you just need to take, especially when you want to impress the coaches.
Yeah, it was a good chance for him to show what he's got. He had a little bit of space.
Well, the Western Force have really dominated through their tight 5 in this game. You can see everything that they've done, scoring tries, have been from the scrum as a base or from their line out into a rolling ball. And I reckon the forward pack should be really pleased with their performance tonight.
Yeah, very much so. Good here, Leon Power calling for the same scrum, and if they do, they drive it on, but it is Apia Samoa manages to get it back. They send it deep to Brad Lacey. He kicks and follows through. Lolo waits outside his 22. It can't be a power try. Picked it up just a bit late, but here he goes anyway. Fends off Alcock, fends off Power, fends off Tessman. Puts the ball back. Now they pick and go through Uini. But the counter drive from the Western Force. But unfortunately, they won't get to play on. And full-time is called here at NIB Stadium. And the Western Force dominant, 33 points to 5 victors over Apia Samoa.
The good margin, a healthy margin, 28 points to the good Western Force in a game played in amazing conditions. It's beautiful now. It looks like, you know, why is your hair wet, boys? But for a while there, they could hardly hang on. We're going to head out in amongst the boys right now. Danny Orlando, you're with your debutant.
Jack McGregor, debut tonight at fullback. How was it?
Yeah, it was really exciting. You know, the boys have been really good at training me, so I was just keen to get out there and have a go. So, yeah, I was happy with it.
Now, if it wasn't for that little fumble at the end there, could we have seen something great from you?
Yeah, well, yeah, it wasn't a great move down there, but, yeah, hopefully I can improve my hands before next game and, yeah, maybe something else, but, yeah.
Well, really exciting times for you, and it was great to see you out there tonight. Now, Barra's with the captain of Apia Samoa.
I am Afa Iono, and you are the captain of the team. How did you find World Series Rugby?
Well, first of all, I would like to thank God for His protection and guidance upon each and every one of us here. Yeah, it's been a really tough game for us today, and it's a good exposure for our boys from the island to expose our talents. And the Force played really well, but our boys they tried our best.
And you love the Western Force, their style of play. Did you enjoy it? They took you on at your own games, so to speak.
Yeah, they play really well, as I said before, and we tried our best to adjust. It was a bit slippery in the condition, but it wasn't it's not an excuse, but yeah, we did our best.
Not exactly your conditions. It's not actually Perth conditions, by the way, as well. Samoa plays tonight as well, the World Cup ahead, and maybe some of your guys one day will be knocking on the door there as well.
Yeah, I just want to wish the best of luck to our boys, the Manu Samoa game in Germany. And it's been a really good opportunity for our boys. As I said, our local boys to expose their talents here. And I would like to thank, especially to our fans here, for coming out today and support us.
No doubt. Good on you. We loved having you. Thank you for being here, and thank you for coming to Perth. Please come again.
Great work, Adrian Barrage there with the captain of Samoa. And Rod Iona, the Western Force very own Rod Iona, is part of that game, of course, in Germany tonight for the Samoan national team to make it through. But tonight here in a waterlogged NIB Stadium, the Western Force 33-5, 28-point victors against Apia Samoa in World Series Rugby, Game 5. "28 points the margin at the end of the game. The Western Force against Apia Samoa, World Series Rugby Game 5. A fantastic battle it was from beginning to end, and perhaps the scoreboard could have been a little bit closer. We're here at the moment, Scotty, with the big man, the coach, Tim Sampson, has joined us. Tim, congratulations, great game.
Yeah, I think it was, considering the conditions, for our takeaways there's some really promising stuff, and the players will be frustrated, but I think they can hold their heads high given the conditions.
Mate, as a back row, it was great to see the three boys get the trifecta of tries, but really it was laid down by the type 5. Are you really pleased with the efforts in that area?
Yeah, and that is one of the pleasing areas out of that game, Scotty, was our set-piece stuff. I thought we copped a few penalties there at the end of the game at scrum time, which I thought could have gone the other way, but that was a good sign, mate, definitely.
And of course we saw the captain, thank God, and thank everybody here for putting this performance on. We enjoyed watching Apia Samoa play, and we see the boys there just behind us now. They're just heading off to thank their fans. They had a fair dinkum crack.
Yeah, they showed a really good skill set there, and they opened us up a few times with their attack, and thankfully we scrambled well, but they hung in there. They played some good footy.
And mate, tonight, did you know we were live around the world on Twitter? You're on Twitter, aren't you?
Mate, I do tweet. I don't mind a retweet, but yeah, how good's that, Scotty? It's fantastic, and the more eyes we can get watching this game, the better, and hopefully it did go well.
Tim, thank you for that. Well done. We look forward to seeing the Western Force back here at NIB Stadium in the not-too-distant future. And Scotty, thank you for your performance tonight, despite the jacket. I'm not sure who let you wear that, but anyway, you got away with it. There is the next time we see it, the Western Force versus the Hong Kong Dragons on Friday, August 10. Kick-off 6:30 local time, but that could be any time, depending on where you're watching, of course. World Series Rugby now live right around the planet at WSR on Twitter. So thank you for joining us. I hope you've enjoyed it. We certainly did. Some wonderful rugby on this field here. The Western Force continuing on their merry way. World Series Rugby Game 5 complete. All the best and bye for now.